do you think that maybe sometimes it could be that from prior to 2019, we looked at the world one way, which involved the outdoors a lot more. And then post 2022, we see the world involving more of the internet and social media.
I do. Yeah, yeah. I think that that is right, and I think it is so very, I mean, I can't underscore how difficult it is for kids who grew up during the lockdown, usually, I mean, not usually, but in their formative years. So say 6 to 11 years old. If you spent any of those years in a lockdown in your home, your brain after a couple of years has become really wired around that feedback loop that the internet and online activity yields. And so one of the reasons that people get into tussles with their kids is because they're actually trying to change the way in which the child's neuronal pathways are organized. And it feels very foreign to a child who was 8 years old and all of their activity was online to now they're 15 and they're supposed to go outside and make friends. Well, they didn't really figure out how to do that at an age where they should have been. So I definitely think that is one of the secondary effects of the pandemic, of the lockdown, is the development was stunted, social development especially.
I think I saw someone, one of my neighbors, his uncle, who is probably in his 50s. So he's a little bit older than maybe some of the people that would experience this, like stereotypically. But he had a very difficult time coming out of the lockdowns and trying to regain his social life to the point where he took his own life because he suffered severe anxiety being around people. He celebrated his birthday, and a
Mm,
couple of days later, and he was having difficulty at his own birthday party. And that's usually one of the most celebratory days of
yeah,
anyone's life, right? And then, like, maybe a few weeks later, they found him dead. And I
that is
share this
tragic.
because sometimes we think that what has happened over the last couple of years only impacts those who are, let's say, 4, 6, 8, 12,
That's
18,
right.
right? But there's a whole group of adults that have been impacted. And a lot of times I look back on history and what's one of the quickest ways to get someone to do something? Fear,
Yeah.
right? Severe consequences. And when you look at 2020 to 2022, that's what the programming was, right? Like we had
Yes.
people who were afraid of their own shadow and who were
Yes.
arguing with family members. And to come out of that and then to have someone try to just tell you, okay, you can live your life and you don't have something to counteract that. Like, how difficult do you think, Maya, that could be where you have the power of fear for 2 years,
Mhm.
3 years, and you try to overcome that, and all you have is basically saying that do this, you're gonna feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. That has been so astounding. I think I I think that some people felt really um, pushed to the brink of what they could realistically do after we came out of the pandemic. I know some people really thought, I need to just, I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to get back on my exercise routine. I'm going to do all of these things, and then we'll run into immediate obstacles of gosh, I've put on weight. It's not so easy to get back on this bike. Or some people are wearing masks and some people aren't. And so who do I engage with? And I just think there were so many small moments that we underestimated would really affect us all. And I wonder, kind of given what you're also pointing out, if we expected too much from each other too quickly, if we needed to be more patient with ourselves and with each other as to how we can realistically reemerge from almost like 2 years of watching a horror story.